Elder Maxon?
Remarkable work, Knight. The signal interceptor appears to be complete. Are you ready to put it to the test?
Absolutely. I'm ready to go.
Your confidence is an inspiration to us all. That being said, this is the first time we've attempted to directly adapt Institute technology. When we throw that switch, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen. God willing, you'll end up inside the Institute, and the mission can continue.
What are the details of my mission?
I'm glad you asked. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. Once you've entered the Institute, we expect to lose contact, so it's imperative you remember everything I'm about to tell you. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the capital wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering.
How did the Brotherhood meet Dr. Lee?
She was part of a civilian project in the capital wasteland that the Brotherhood appropriated. It wasn't difficult to convince her to stay. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the capital wasteland. After some time, she developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
What sort of differences?
Although she was working with the Brotherhood of Steel, she never formally joined as a scribe. After the capital wasteland was secured, she objected to the Brotherhood's continued military presence there. I think she assumed we would just walk away from it all. She was wrong. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on, and it needs her attention.
What's this project that needs her attention?
Sorry, that information is classified. I'm sure you understand. Listen to me, Knight. I'm well aware that you're risking your life going into the Institute blind. Just keep your mind on the mission, and don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck.
Proctor Ingram.
I've checked and rechecked everything. I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto.
Danny K there, singing.
Are you in or are you out? Make up your mind.
Civilization.
Damn! Total system shutdown. We're gonna have to recalibrate and try again.
How about a bit of good news? If you know...
Proctor Ingram?
I've checked and rechecked everything.
I know it's true.
I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Shouldn't we test it first?
Not with a single frequency code. The second you arrive and the Institute figures out which signal we hijacked, they'll change the code, and we're locked out. This is a one-shot deal. So what do you say? You ready to give it a try?
Glad you're back, Nick.
I've got some things to do first.
Yeah. I wouldn't be eager to jump onto this contraption either.
Next is, I don't want to set the world on fire by,
Proctor.
I've checked and rechecked everything. I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto. Pull yourself together and get up onto that platform. Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it
Refrain
finds.
from opening fire
If you
inside
place it
the
in
exhibit.
any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Oh, goddamn them. So many years stolen.
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
Sean, open the door.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Sean, please, calm down. I'll get you out of there.
Father? Father, help me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated.
Tired of
He's a prototype,
living
you
in Diamond
understand.
City, and you maybe want
We're only
a
just now beginning to
adventure or
explore the
something?
effects of extreme
I
emotional
guess
stimuli.
You have a new option.
Please try and keep
The
an open
settlement
mind.
of
I recognize that you
Sanctuary
are emotional,
has, I guess,
and that your
been
journey
founded
here has been fraught
to
with
the
challenges.
northwest there.
Let's start anew.
Good luck to them with, you know, the whole
I am Father.
surviving thing.
Welcome to the Institute.
And in other news, it sounds like maybe the
I could kill you.
it's not other news. It's actually the same.
Right
news.
here. Right
The Minutemen were
now.
involved in this.
Yes.
That's the
Yes, you
Minutemen.
could. And I would be
I thought
powerless
they were
to
kinda
stop
done
you.
for. It sounds kind of crazy.
I'll make this very simple.
And if it were real,
Where
it would be
is
super
my
easy.
son?
He's here, in the
Tony
Institute.
Harris had a grandma that
Closer
gambled, I
than
guess,
you think.
so he,
But I need you to realize
song
that
about
this
it. And I'm not just talking about it, I
situation,
actually played it.
you have
So,
traveled
here it
very
is.
far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the sun you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
Hell of a story. But
I'm glad you're willing to accept it. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic. I am their father.
Sean.
It really is. I know you must have.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
After what I've seen, I pity the man. He was as much a victim as anything.
After what he did to you, I'm shocked you would be so generous. But yes, I understand you've experienced things. Perhaps you ended up knowing him better. I, for one, will never truly forgive him. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. I won't lie. What else can I say?
So you're in charge?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades at the Institute.
They need your help, Sean. It's rough up there, to say the least.
Oh, we've tried that. Surprised? The Institute once tried to help create a stabilized Commonwealth government. It ended in bickering, infighting. It was a disaster. No. We look after our own now. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. What else can I say to ease your mind?
I think I've heard enough for now.
Very well. The Institute is on the verge of I've been a part of something. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that.
Maybe. I don't know. This is so much to take in.
I know. And I am sorry. The Institute can provide a better life than anything above. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like.
I don't know.
I realize that. It's why. I hope that you can see that rationally. I simply ask that you give the Institute. We really do have humanities. Will you take that?
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
I'm sorry to hear that. I had certainly hoped we could work together. But every man must make his own decisions. If you choose to leave, I cannot force you to stay. Understand, though, that I cannot allow you to remain within the Institute. You may have safe passage back to the relay, where you will be sent back to the surface. But from that point, you must be considered hostile. I am sorry. The elevator will return you to the relay.
No way to pick this. Sean, can we talk about this?
Have you reconsidered your decision?
Sean, isn't there some other option. Some other way we can work things out.
You've seen the Commonwealth. You must have some idea of how this world works. You're either with us or you're not.
I've changed my...
Well, that's good to hear. The Institute is now your home. You want to introduce yourself to the Division. And finally...
And that was Frankie Carl there. Well, I mean, I guess it was actually Marjorie Hughes doing the singing. Never
Almost
mind.
done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary...
Doc.
Oh,
They weren't kidding.
I don't know.
You really are here.
Most of them have lasted
Well, all
long
right.
past their projected
I'm Allie.
lifespans.
Allie
If
Fillmore.
you ask me,
You can think of me
we're
as the...
built pretty...
So, this radio station here, we don't really make any caps, and there are well, some people help me stay in the air.
I
People
can't
like
argue with that.
Even so,
like this,
I'm ready to see the full
power noodles. Our chef
Is it
only says
true
one
food
sentence,
supplement
but that's
77
okay
has been
because he only serves
discontinued?
one thing.
Huh?
That was my favorite
So,
one.
Hey, sweetie.
Quentin is such
How
a
about
liar.
Billy Ward and the Thunderbirds?
How do you know what the surface is like?
This
He's
one,
never been up there.
I mean, it's
nutritious and flavorful food supplements.
I'll
I
just play it.
want supplement 77.
I am sorry, sir.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even
Hi.
testing?
Huh? Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Doctor.
Oh, hi there. Sorry if I seem distracted. I memorized 5 sets of design schematics, and now I'm doing detailed mental comparisons.
What kinds of blueprints?
Mostly components for a new plasma pistol concept I've been toying with. High-energy weapons are sort of a hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say how much I admire Father, and that it's an honor to meet you. I really hope you'll stay here with us. Well, that was productive. If you ask me, we're only scratching the surface with the latest synths.
Child synth prototype may truly be the key to our future.
Safety first. Remember that.
Oh, it's you. You're not authorized to be here.
I'm new around here.
You must think I'm some kind of idiot. Father may have given you the keys to the castle, but I still decide who goes in and who goes out of my laboratory. So why don't you just run along and let me get back to work?
Fine. I'll come back later.
So you can interrupt me twice? No thanks. You're obviously here for a reason, and you've already spoiled my experiment, so you might as well spit it out.
You're the scientist. Why do you think I'm here?
Well, let's see. A Brotherhood of Steel airship arrives in the Commonwealth. You find a way to intercept our teleport signal, and now you show up at my door. I knew it was just a matter of time before your people would track me down. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost a decade, waiting for them to send someone like you to kill me.
No, I just want to talk.
Fine. Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
You should return to the Brotherhood.
Even if I wanted to return to them, why would they want me back?
The Brotherhood valued your presence, and we'd like you to come back.
Well, how sweet of them. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
I give up. What would it take to convince you?
All right, I'll play your game. I had a colleague down here, a Dr. Virgil. Several months ago, there was an accident in his lab, and he was killed. I wanted to help with the investigation, but Father had the laboratory sealed, saying that it was contaminated. The incident never sat right with me. The more I asked about it, the more I felt like Father was deflecting my questions. If you bring me solid information on what killed him, I'll take it as a favor from the Brotherhood and consider your offer. Do we have a deal?
I know this may come as a shock, but Dr. Virgil is still alive. I met him myself.
Oh, please. Do you really think a cheap tactic like that is going to work on someone like me? Stop trying to avoid the legwork by lying. Either you get me the evidence, or we have nothing else to talk about. Deal?
Deal.
All right. Dr. Virgil's lab was in the Biosciences Division. I can give you a code that will get you into the section, but the lab itself has been sealed, so you'll have to breach it on your own. I'd tell you to be quiet about it, but your Brotherhood and discretion isn't exactly your strong suit. And finally, if you get caught, we never had this conversation. Now, for the sake of keeping up appearances, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Thank you. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to in case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Speaking of, I trust our discussion will remain between the two of us. Now, I need to get back to work, and
Dr. Lee.
I thought I was clear. Bring me the evidence, and I'll consider returning to the Brotherhood.
What sort of evidence should I look for?
If I knew that, I wouldn't need your help. Look for Virgil's notes or his personal recordings. Anything that can shed some light on what happened. Now get to it, before I change my mind about the whole thing.